together, please give me the knife. I will not hurt you. You are my sister, and I love you, but I will not hurt you. Please give me the knife.
Mittens is kind of just in a bad mental state right now.
Oh my god. Oh my god. And we're back!
We're
They
back.
lived happily ever after.
Nothing bad ever happened again.
What happened to Mittens?
3 months.
I know Maud. Why are we watching this whole thing about Mittens?
Yeah, I don't know. We just thought I'd re-roll a character.
It's funny. My first reaction was, why you have a fake name too?
Yeah. Well, it makes sense.
All the cool
Welcome
kids
back to
have an
Tales
alias.
Unraveled.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Tales Unraveled, where we talk about the fucking bullshit we make.
Episode 0, Maud.
I'm gonna be more and more derisive.
So speaking of, at what point did the Maud name come up? Because I poked my head out a couple of times, but it just seemed like at some point they were used interchangeably.
It was basically when she leaves home. She's like, I do not want to be found. So she's like, if I run into people and they know that my name is Mittens, then like, you know, if my mom is trying to find me or something, then like she wants to make sure that no one actually knows who she is.
Also, we discussed that she figured out that the name was embarrassing around humans.
Yeah. Yeah, eventually she was like, that's a good call, actually.
The Mittens thing came from me, like, because when I was coming up with what Chapalu are, because I was making them up just to make sure, like, just to get Jesse like engaged,
Yeah.
just to ensure. I didn't think Jesse would just be checked out, but I wanted him to be actively excited about something. So I was
Right.
like, I'll make these guys.
Totoros.
Yeah, I'll make Totoro cat otters.
Yeah.
And I had this thought of like, it'd be very funny to name them similarly to
Cats.
Jellicle cats and or warrior cats.
Yeah. So Stefan was like, "What do you want?" I said, "I think Maud has a different name," and you were like, "Oh, what would you like it to be?" And I said, "I actually don't think she would have a Jellicle name. I think she'd have something stupid and embarrassing." And you said Mittens, and I said,
Like
"That's
like a normal pet name.
yeah." I said, "That's perfect. Actually, that's really good."
This is the first time I've heard the word Jellicle unironically, mind you. So I'm catching up with this.
Are they blind when they're
It's a type
born?
of cat.
I'm picking up on that now.
They go to the Jellicle ball to see who gets to die.
Who gets to die? It's an honor.
Die.
I only saw that movie once. I've never seen the show. So
That's fair. I think that's enough times to
Yeah.
see Cats. You either see it once or you see it 19 times. I think the
I've
movie
seen it
Cats.
six times.
Yeah.
So this was the episode I was actually like kind of like most interested in seeing because you do play Maud so reserved that even Karna knows like next to nothing about her other than she had a very strict upbringing, as was noted.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you saw Rufflepaw, you were like, she looks like
Yeah, she looks like she has she looks like she has an apocalypse bunker.
And I was like, yeah, that's
Survivalist, you know what?
you,
Makes
you
sense.
picked it up immediately. So
Yeah. She's like, humans are bad, and I'm going to protect all my children, actually.
the world is bad.
Yeah. So let's live in this fucking swamp full of monsters.
The safer option.
Well, fight for your food and keep what you kill.
I'm curious, because since Karna has known some Chapalu, what is their society like? You know, what type of societies do they usually form around?
A lot of them are very freewheeling and like traveling and stuff like that, but they're usually nowhere near as hardcore as Rufflepaw is.
Right.
And as big a fan of nudity.
Just gotta be au natural in them swamps.
In my head, Rufflepaw is very like caught up in like the idea of being a real Chapalu, which is to say like being more like the great beast that their folklore says they all like sort of split off from. Like in like we talk there's a deleted scene where I went into it. I'll exposit some lore here. Why not?
Yeah, that's the purpose of these, I imagine.
There's an actual Welsh creature called Chapalu in French, and it's called something Chapalig or something in
Listed right
Welsh.
here.
There's a sort of Welsh French monster that's like a called like in Chapalu it means bog cat, and that was my sort of inspiration for like I'll make a cat thing. I look into a lot of Welsh folklore for inspiration for stuff because surprisingly used a lot, but like people usually only use a few surface level things and not like all of it. So it's fertile ground for creating fantasy stuff. So their sort of founding idea of their people is that they used to be one creature that was the Chapalu, and it was just a great beast that just
Dominates the swamplands.
Like just sort of the beast of beasts, essentially, like free, like does whatever it wants, and people try to capture it, and in an attempt to not be captured, it split into many beings, which became the Chapalu people. That's their founding
Belief system.
Yeah, like that's their thought of who they are.
Okay.
And so Rufflepaw's thing is like, I am the most like Chapalu than all these other fakers who are living in cities and living like people. Like we are animals. We should live like animals.
We should live where we should thrive where others don't even survive.
We are top of the food chain.
Yeah.
And so that's her ideology, and she forces Skitterkit and Maud to abide by it. With also the idea that the world is cruel and unkind, and you have to teach your children to be cruel and unkind to survive at it.
Yeah, she seems like the kind of character that must have had a hell of a past to begin with, in order to inspire other tragic paths.
Yeah, it's one of those cases of like, you know, because I had brought this idea of Maud having a really bad mother to Stefan, and I wanted to kind of like show this chain, like there's obviously like a chain of abuse that happened. Why is Rufflepaw like this? Like it's like, I probably feel bad for Rufflepaw, but it doesn't excuse how she's treating her family, you know, because it's just continuing this chain of abuse.
Yeah, I remember your original idea was that like Rufflepaw was like the mother was going to tell Maud to kill her sister, and in my head I was like, I can't make that make sense.
Yeah.
From someone who would be a mother, choose to be a mother, why they would just say, kill your sister.
Yeah.
Like they've been putting the work in, so that like there needs to be a reason. So I asked if we could change it.
Yeah. I had plot reasons for it, but like I understand wanting to, pull it back a little bit. Like Maud wouldn't kill her sister, and that's what would cause her to leave.
He has to maim someone you care about is more than enough. To leave.
Yeah. And it also makes more sense with the direction that we were taking Rufflepaw.
Yeah.
As a character.
I just wanted a character I could play in a way that made sense to me. So she has to have like reasons for doing things. And like you're basically your only stuff was like that backstory, and then she becomes a baker.
Yeah.
And like is working at a bakery, and that was basically your only two things you gave me.
Yeah. I was like, I want to have a sister and a mom, and that I think she'd be good at this, so let's just do that, you know.
So like that's part of why like Alex's and Maud's stuff are so much shorter than Karna's, is that I had less points I had to hit.
Yeah.
In the story.
And less life to cover.
Yeah. Does anyone have any questions, by the way, as we sort of talk?
Yeah, feel free to fill up chat for those of you who are joining us live.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the most part, there have been questions just about the release order of these and when they're coming out, and I've just been answering as they've come in.
Yeah. I was glad to see people in the chat. I'm glad to see people in the chat saying they were crying.
Good, yes.
Good, that's the feelings we want. We want you to feel bad.
You know, it's honestly awesome because like creating pieces of art that other people have reactions to is like really amazing. I was talking about this on Twitter the other day, but like I love acting for other people and I love entertaining people, but my main purpose in it is like for myself. I love acting to like challenge myself and figure out what I can do and make myself better at it. So it's really, really special when it connects to other people, because seeing people react like that in the chat is great, because I've been crying about this for months, you know, like we did this in February, and I like even now, it's been enough time that me watching it, I was like crying, like, you know, on and off.
Jesse was like red-faced, tears in his eyes, veins in his forehead.
Yeah, very intensely.
Yeah, and I'm like, it's so sad.
I noticed people also being like generally on edge about Mom's gonna be bad.
Yeah, like
sorry to activate something.
Yeah, that opening scene was too cute for it not to go immensely tragic. I think I reflected on that.
Yeah, we're like, oh boy, I think someone in the chat was like, can't wait to see how fucked up this gets, you know?
There is a question from SB Dragon about where's Maud's dad. We got so much of a kind of family tree for Karna.
That is a good.
It could be one of the reasons why Rufflepaw is such a bitch.
It could be.
Yeah.
That was my immediate thought reading that, because I don't know. But maybe I will know someday.
Yeah, I had some ideas, but obviously, if Stefan and I don't talk about it, and he does something that contradicts it, then I'll just go with that. But yeah, it's one of those things where it hasn't come up yet. So
He doesn't know, but he will. Just
If I have to know, I will.
Yeah.
And Zeke the Geek asked, how'd Rufflepaw lose the eye?
I don't know.
Could also be related. All these things could come together. We don't know.
It could be. That was my other
Yeah.
and the thing is, like, she's missing an eye because I thought that would visually inform something about her character and why she thinks the world is so rough. Mm-hmm. Do I need to know why she's missing the eye? No, because I didn't need to.
Yeah. Maud doesn't even know as a character because her mom would, over the years, tell her different stories about how she lost the eye. Every time it's something different, So like one time it was like,
would it
a
be
human
like
trapped me.
Would it be like one of those moral lessons where like you got into a little bit of trouble? You know how I lost my eye?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, like
That's why you don't yell.
Yeah.
I'm only ever going to reference Arrested Development. I'm not allowed to.
Yeah, that part caught me off guard. I'm not gonna lie.
It caught me off guard. I forgot I put it in.
Yeah, just that's the only time
You
you've
watched
done
that
that.
episode of Arrested Development last night.
Yeah. I was excited because I was like, I know what the shot is. It's coming up.
I forgot it was there.
Yeah.
And Echo Seraphin was asking if Maud had any known family members in addition to the two we've really been introduced to.
Yes, Maud had other siblings, and they're not here anymore.
You mentioned that yesterday. I was like, that is news to me.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if we had text chatted about it. Okay, yeah. Yeah, Maud.
I can go with it.
Yeah, no, Rufflepaw has had other children, and
Which informs her worldview even more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Maud does not talk about, even with Skitterkin, a little peek behind the curtain. It hasn't come up yet or anything, but Skitterkit would keep wanting to talk about their other siblings, and Maud would be like, "We don't talk. I don't want to. Let's not talk about them."
It would also inform why Maud is so protective of Skitterkit. She's her last sibling.
Yeah, they were a litter of 5.
Wow.
So it's like been her and her sister for a bit.
But hey, thought I'm having right now. Maybe not all of them are dead. Maybe some of them are just gone.
Maybe
Maybe that's where you got influenced to I'm gonna walk off like they did.
So out of the litter of 5, was Skitterkit and Maud, where are their positions in that order of birth? Well, I guess if they're
Obviously the
litter,
two-
then they're
I
all
mean,
pretty much the same.
The 2 youngest of Skitterkit, I mean,
They're pretty close in age,
Yeah.
I think I personally, if I were to guess, I'd say they're not the youngest. I think the
Oh.
youngest died.
Yeah.
But they might be near the bottom.
Yeah, in my head it was 2 that were older than Maud, and then there's Maud, Skitterkit, and then a young.
That's
and
what I
then
was
there's
thinking.
Maud. Yeah.
And also there could have been more before Maud even got, like, maybe Maud was so young
But no one
and doesn't
talks about
remember.
anything.
Yeah, like the mom isn't going to bring them up. Anytime they try talking about them, she's like, we don't talk about them, so that's where Maud got we don't talk about them.
It's like how Irish people talk about their family, where it's like, we just don't talk about our feelings and then we die.
Yeah, Maud has a lot of, like, she wasn't taught to trust people or talk about her feelings, so that's why she is how she is at the beginning of the campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just be a man. Drink until you feel like punching something, then do that.
So I guess that's a lot of insight on Chapalu stuff and Maud that more than you've ever gotten, because Maud's just not very.
Yeah,
vocal about
I've been
that.
kind of like fascinated by the idea of because the Chapalu is one of those races that we haven't really been able to explore in the campaign so far.
You've run into one other one than Maud, and he was very different.
And all of the ones that were imprisoned, but you're not really going to dwell on them. They're in more dire circumstances.
Yeah, they barely got even. I think one got a line. So,
Yeah.
And Maud didn't super get to see them a lot. Like, so
you
they're
saw
just
them
gone.
just sort of swim away.
Yeah, and she was like doing so much that in my head she didn't even like parse it. She might remember like 2 weeks from then and be like, "Wait a minute, was that were those?"
Yeah, the line of leaping creatures might have helped you figure out exactly where to go too.
Do you think Maud is like an actual cat, where she's like, oh yeah, I guess I do have a species.
Yeah, she wasn't super taught. Like, she was taught the like survival. It's like we're the dominants.
Not like a bunch of distinction.
I mean, the only
creatures
creatures.
of similar size.
Yeah, the only creatures it seems like you really had encountered were your siblings and things that you would hunt or avoid.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, so she has no real like. She also wasn't taught religion at all. Like, So nothing.
Other than the Chapalu story.
Yeah, she was taught that, but her mom was more like less of a religion, more of like we're cool, you know, like we're awesome, we're the dominant
and you have like
species.
and you have like a concept for humans, but you never really met one, I'm guessing, before Deb.
Yeah, just a lot of like any
That's a
other
first impression for humans.
Yeah, no, any other race of any other kinds. My mom has a story about it. You know, it's like one of them they're fucked up and they'll kill you. You know, like of all of them except other Chapalu.
But yeah, and I guess do we want to say anything about Deb before?
Yeah,
It's definitely most you get from Deb because you didn't get a lot of her at the.
I was wondering if you already had in mind that she had her two sons before we got to session.
Yes, that was Jesse's idea, and then he just sort of gave me free reign to make them.
Yeah, I have a lot of like ideas, and then I don't name or like any real details. I'm just like, I want you to come up with that. I want it to be more of a collaborative. You know, like I don't give a shit, so let's do it together, kind of stuff. But yeah, no, I think that kind of like shows why the mod is so like, I will die for this family, I guess, you know, because like she was taught that they are dangerous and to stay away from them, and then the first one that she meets is like outside of
a better new mom.
Yeah, better new mom. It is so kind to her right away, like. It's insane.
It's very Jean Valjean at the beginning of Les Mis. Like, I like it, being honest. That is like 100% where I'm drawing from. Of like that scene of in Les Miserables of Jean Valjean stealing from the priest who was nice to him, and then the priest being like, "Oh, but you forgot this. You should have taken this." When he gets
these
caught.
are valuable.
Yeah, and
which is funny. They're both French.
I find that scene genuinely very moving. So I was like, I'm gonna recreate that for this.
Yeah,
but with bread.
Because Maud also like deserves a little good in her life.
Yeah,
she's had a terrible time.
Not to go into like what has happened, but it honestly does inform some of like what you've been doing in like, you know, season 2 so far. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it kind of like, oh, that makes sense. That's why this is like that.
Mm-hmm.
Maud really appreciates people who are nice.
Yeah.
As someone who's not experienced it for most of her life.
She has a lot of black and white thinking, and so like, if you know, she will die for nice people. She will do anything for kind people, and if you turn out to be a piece of shit, she will kill you. You know, like very black and white.